Record. Okay, we are live. Hello, Andrea. How are you?
Hi, Tad. So good. So excited.
What are we going to talk about today?
Okay. Well, today this is the start of weekly talks about programs and modules with Chad and I, part of our Resonance Connection, our new portal. So today we're going to talk about Gold Cycle, the foundational frequencies.
And I'm going to share my screen, and we have some slides to present. I'm going to systematically talk about all the programs within Gold Cycle and how Andrea and I use them as practitioners with our clients, on ourselves. We're going to do a really good deep dive into it. So any questions, please let us know. I think Andrea's going to field the questions. Can you see that live on the Facebook?
I can see it in both. Yeah. So I'm on Facebook Live. I see them.
Because once I share a screen, I don't think I can actually look at anything else. So let's do that now. All right. And we'll do. Okay. So can you see my screen, Andrea?
Yep.
Perfect.
Beautiful slides.
Yep. So today we're going to talk about Gold Cycle programs, what they are, how to use them, how to integrate them in your everyday life, and just break down a little bit more about each program and how to incorporate them. So this is all things Gold Cycle. The picture here you see on this little fancy phone, this is a picture of what it looks like on the new app that you can use the Healy with as well. That's what it looks like in the back of the screen. So if it looks a little different, that's exactly why.
And I think people have been saying that the Healy app is working better than the Pink Dot app, yeah?
It is. I've noticed it working better too. And what I love about the Healy app is you can use your Healy and the Healy at the same time. So it works good for both. So the Healy Gold Cycles programs, they're to help detoxify, purify, balance, and care for the body. Myself, I've been using the Healy for over 2 years. Actually, I should correct that. It's almost 3 years now, right? I think September, it's 3 years. So I'm a year short. So I think September, it was 3 years. And I've been using it on hundreds of clients. The Gold Cycle programs are a good start to any frequency-based protocols and work well with the deep cycle programs as well. Anything you want to add there, Andrea?
Yeah, I mean, when I work with my clients, I have them all start with Gold Cycle, and I have them run those 1 to 2 programs per day for a couple of weeks and just really set the foundation and restore that cellular health. Nuno talks about how the Gold Cycle is really about restoring that membrane potential of the cells and optimizing the bioterrain within the body. So I like to start there with clients.
Perfect. All right. We're just going to jump right on in. The first program we're going to talk about is the Pure program. And the Pure program is, let me move your picture here. Sorry, Andrew, you're in my way here a little bit. The Pure program is an ideal starting point for anyone using the Healy for the first time. It helps the energy field to recover if there's anything going on in the bioenergetic field from environmental pollutants such as toxins, unhealthy diet. This weekend I was away. I was in Tennessee. I actually married one of my best friends, and I didn't marry her. I was the minister of the ceremony, and I did a little bit of drinking. I was out having some fun, and the first program I ran was a Sunday night. I ran Pure program to kind of get my body back into a little bit of energetic balance in a way. So it's a great program to run while detoxing. Like I did drink a little bit of liquor, detoxing, and it helps assist the liver in the detoxification process. The picture you see to the left, everyone, that's what it looks like on the new Healy app or the Healy app. And if you see the squiggly line in the picture itself, that means that it is actually working and you're actually getting the frequencies through your energetic field. if that line turns gray, which you see at the bottom of the screen here, that's like a black line in your pink app. So that's, I just wanted to kind of bridge that a little bit because a lot more people are using the newer app. And I want to kind of do a little bit of cross training here, if you will, as to if you see this gray screen or this gray line, where the frequency waves are here in the left picture, that just means it's a closed circuit. Anything else you want to add there, Andrea?
So the Pure program is great for detoxification, and Nuno talks about as well that it really is about recovering the electrical highways of the body, or the electrical health of the body's cleansing highways. So these ones are detoxing the kidneys, the lungs, the liver. So this is really the foundational program. It's a great place to start for anyone.
And Andrea, would you recommend doing this in the morning or at night? Is there a time that you would do this? I would love to hear your perspective on that.
Yeah, I mean, I love to run this one first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have some water with some lemon in it, start getting the detox pathways opening, and then just run the Pure program. So that's my preference.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I agree. I do it in the morning as well. Also, if I'm doing any kind of other detox protocols, if I'm doing a foot detox or anything like that, I like to run this program while doing other detox protocols as well. It creates more of an impactful detox for me. So like foot detox and things like that. So it's a really good program to run and work with other things that you're doing to help your body along in the whole detox process. Because we do live in a world that's kind of toxic. Everything down to our hair dye, to heavy metals, mercury fillings, anything like that. Even our water that we're drinking, from runoff, from pesticides and things like that. So the Pure program is really here to help us assist in the removal of those chemicals that can really essentially weigh us down. So that's what this program is all about. Oh, I guess it just moved on its own. It didn't do anything. It just moved to the next program. So I guess we're going to go to the next program. It's the CARE program. From my perspective, I do want to talk about this one. This program is great to run during these times where you may not feel like you're caring for yourself enough. And that could be in different ways. It could be energetic. You're not caring for yourself energetically. You're not caring for yourself physically. You're not caring for yourself emotionally. You might be eating the wrong kinds of foods. It's a whole mind, body, soul kind of thing here with the CARE program. So, that's what my take is on the CARE program. I like to run this on myself after some times where I'm not feeling, I kind of feel energetically off. I like to run this program. My clients love this program. This is in their regime protocol to run when they come in for sessions. So if I have someone that I'm working on that is, how do I put this? They're kind of energetically blocked. This program really helps that. It helps kind of break through a different layer in their energetic field. That's the notes I wrote down for this program. I want to talk a little bit more about that. So we all have this energetic field, correct? So our energetic field or aura is about 9 feet. And we're in the middle of this like 9 feet bubble. Some people's energetic field, when they're getting energy work done or any kind of work done in the non-physical, that field can be kind of harder to get into because there's a resistance there. There's a resistance to their own healing. Sometimes we forget that we have to allow our bodies to heal. We have to give permission for our bodies to heal. So sometimes when I come across someone like that, the CARE program really helps me as a practitioner to break through to my client. Does that make sense?
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I hope that made sense in the way I was kind of explaining it, because I kind of see it in my mind how it works. And that's what I think the CARE program is really beneficial for me as a practitioner, because it can break through to a different level. So it's almost like, Andrew, I don't have to work so hard because I have like a little sidekick, in my pocket here. And, that's what the CARE program is all about. Anything else you want to add, Andrew, about the CARE program?
Yeah, I mean, I see the care as like this is the defense shield of our electrical health, and so this one is great for boosting the immune system, and I also very much use it in the self care. So I know if I wake up one day and I'm like, this is the day where I need a little more self care. This is the first one I'm running in the morning.
Yeah.
So.
So I think it should actually be called self-care program, but each their own. So we'll call it the care program for now. Moving on, we're going to move to the balance program. And this program, and they're all timed. So this program's 52 minutes. This works really well. I've noticed, this is my experience working with clients and myself. I've noticed that the balance program, I know Andrew and I had a little conversation about this today before we came on this live. I noticed that the balance program works really well with the meridian programs, especially the lymphatic, kidney, or liver meridians. My client feedback has been very positive running this program before the meridian programs. In this case, I put the lymphatic meridian program. And I can always mention intention is everything. So I put a little intention recommendation down here. And, you know, if I was running this program myself, this is something I would say. And I'm so happy and grateful that my balance is restored and my energetic bodily functions are restored and balanced. It can be whatever you want, whatever feels right for you. Intention creates that energy movement within your energetic field. It creates the action and it kind of gives your body permission to receive the frequencies on a different level than not having attention. That's kind of the only way I can explain it. Anything you want to add about the balance program, Andrea?
Yeah, I love that. I love how you describe that.
Mhm.
I see the balance as sort of balancing anything that's flowing through the body. So I like to run this one with the circulation meridian after,
Ooh, yeah.
because things are flowing and then we get the chi of the meridians going after this, but anything improving kidneys, blood flow, lymphatic, as you said, with the lymphatic system, hormones, neurotransmitters. Yeah, I love the balance program.
Another program, two programs that work really well together, since you talked about circulation, is running this program and then directly after, if you have time, running the circulation program under fitness. I wrote that down in my notes here. I have like,
And that one's only 30 minutes, so.
yeah, I have notes that are like years and years old. So sometimes it takes me a while to go back and find all my client notes.
Yeah, like I got my book here too.
They're there. They're like, I mean, I have probably like 7 journals. Because I always write down what people are experiencing, what's happening after they leave here. I want them to always connect with me. How did you feel after you left? So I get the good feedback, and I get the other feedback that's maybe not so positive in the fact that they didn't maybe feel necessarily great. Maybe they felt worse, and I want to know why. And so that's where these notes are coming from. Anything else you want to talk about as in regards to the balance program, Andrea?
No, I think that's pretty comprehensive.
I think so too. Let's move right along, shall we? Wait, my computer's doing its own thing. We're not even like, okay. It's like turning slides on its own. Like, I don't know what's happening. All right. The Being program. Again, like I mentioned to you earlier before we got on this call, this is one of my favorites in the Gold Cycle because I always talk about that non-physical place. So the Being is really geared to work in the non-physical. While the program Balance is for the body, Being is for the soul. It really works on that soul component within our information field with what shamans always call the light body, the rainbow body. It's that knowing, but you don't know that you know, but you know, which is in your information field. It works on that. So this is why this is one of my favorite programs to run, especially if I have time and I want to meditate for an hour. I actually use Being. A lot of people use coherence. I use Being over coherence, and that's just my personal frequency that I love. I use both, but if I had to choose one, if I had an hour to meditate, it would be Being. It wouldn't be coherence, because it really gets in that place where everyone has stuck emotions. Everyone has feelings where they don't necessarily feel that great. So we get to dictate to ourselves how we react to them. And a little fun fact, FF, it takes 68 seconds to let an emotion filter through our energetic bodies. So we really get to dictate how we feel while running this program. Intention, your intention before you run this program is really important, because you can create a positive intention for yourself and allow any emotions that no longer serve you to no longer hold space in your energetic body. Even if you don't know what those emotions are, that's okay. If you just have the intention to let emotions go that you don't want in your field anymore, and actually we talk about quantum entanglement. I don't know if you know this, but someone just won the Nobel Peace Prize about his work in quantum entanglement, and that is talking about the information field. That information field can hold emotions too, not just in our body. So when you work on this frequency, whether you're doing it through the coil or the wristbands, it helps to transmute those emotions that haven't entered into your system yet, which is really powerful. So again, one of my favorite programs. Anything you want to add about that, Andrea?
Yeah, I love Being. When I first got the Healy, I didn't actually run Being. I ran all the other ones. And then I was kind of afraid of this one because it was about emotional health. And this is like one of my favorites now. If I'm feeling just a little off kilter, I run the Being and I just feel so grounded within myself and within my emotions after.
Yeah.
We do have a question, Chad. So somebody says, would you need to run one with the coil and one with the wires if you're doing, or back-to-back wires, if we're doing like how we were talking about running 2 programs?
If you run 2 programs, my recommendation, and it may be different for other people, but my recommendation as a clinician, seeing what these frequencies do in the energetic field, is if you choose to run the coil, then run both programs on the coil. If you choose to use the electrodes, then run both programs on the electrodes. However, you can try to mix it up. You can use the electrodes and use the coil. There is no wrong answer to that. But I would, based on what I'm feeling when I use it and based on what my clients feel, the body kind of gets used to a certain way the frequencies get absorbed. So if you switch it up then right away and switch to the wristbands, your body has to readjust to a new way of getting in frequencies. So that's why I would recommend, doing with what you started with. If you started with the wristbands, stay with that. If you are using the coil, then stay with that. But, give it a try. Do whatever feels right to you. Did that answer that question?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's all kind of a bit of an experiment sometimes. And so you have to just try different things and find what works for you. And because we're all individually unique or experienced with the frequencies. So
yeah. And I think, that's the key phrase there. We're all individually unique. We all experience frequencies at a different level, at a different rate, at a different vibrational speed. Someone mentioned, I asked a question a while back, like the lower frequencies, like, 3 hertz, those are, and then they're trying to make it make sense. Those are a little bit thicker. The waves are a little bit slower and they're like thick air. And then when you go above like 999 hertz, where the waves are going really, really faster, and then you get into like the million hertz, those tend to enter the body more easy, or they tend to, I don't say enter, what's the word I'm looking for? Assimilate in the body more easily, because they're moving at a faster rate. So what a hertz is, it's a sound wave, really. That's really what it is. So that sound wave is moving fast and it's more airy and it can really get into your field. Where sometimes people are having issues when they use the wristbands when it gets to a lower frequency, because that lower frequency is really moving a little bit slower as far as their hertz. And that's where you might have to adjust a little bit. You might have to turn up the Healy percentage, turn it down. Maybe sometimes you have to use a wet cloth around the wrist. It all depends on what works best for you. So everyone feels it in a different capacity.
I find the lower hertz is when I actually feel it more.
Exactly.
Like that.
Yeah. People do feel it more because it's thicker. So like if you think of like you know, like I don't know, thick air, like that you can really feel, like really thick air. That's what low hertz is to me. And you can feel it more than thin air. I don't know if that makes sense. That's how my brain kind of interprets it. So yeah, and I added the little unicorn down here at the bottom. I felt like he was adorable when I was going through making this little um, slide. I saw a unicorn and I was like, wait, what? I have to figure out how to put that in the slide. So um, I put him down there and I think he fits perfectly there. Any other thing you want to add about being, Andrea?
I think that's good.
Yeah, any other questions? I don't know what's going on the other side there, the screen. No?
Yeah, we're good.
Good.
Isabella was asking after about running them back to back. She meant the two programs with the wristbands immediately after, or waiting 3 hours in between.
Oh, does she mean like running when we're talking about running two programs back to back?
Yeah.
I would run them back to back.
Yeah, that's what I
yeah,
said.
I wouldn't wait. Yeah. All right. Energy program. This one is for me, and that's why I put these words in there. This is what I'd love to do in the morning. It creates like a boost in my energy field. It's like an energetic cup of coffee without the side effects. Like you mentioned earlier, Andrea Nuno says that this energy program aims to recharge the bioenergetic field. So we are all batteries. We have a plus up here, we have a minus down there. We're all supposed to be polarized. A lot of times in my sessions, what I really do is I polarize people's energy fields. And that's kind of bringing balance to their plus and their minus, you know. And I'm going to go off in a little bit of a tangent. So sometimes I'll have people hold what I call polarizing rods. One is shungite, and they hold that in their left hand. One is soapstone. And if their body is so out of sync as far as energy goes and they're not polarized, I will have them run this program for a full hour while I polarize their energy field with the rods and then my energy work. So you know, this kind of charges your battery. And another thing I want to mention is this program works really well with the solar plexus chakra program, because if you think about what the solar plexus is, that's the power center in the body. That's where our battery is. If we had to recharge ourselves, that's where our battery is located. So Andrew, if you were an iPhone, that's where your charger would be, right? So running these two back to back is very beneficial. In this case, though, I would run the solar plexus program first and then the energy program. But you can do whatever works best for you. So I like to just give you some ideas of what programs to run back to back. So the energy program works really well with the solar plexus program and the chakras because they target pretty much the same area in the body. When I was doing my research in the first year or so and I wrote down every single frequency that came up, yeah, I was that kind of nerd, I know. I wrote down every single frequency that came up under the energy programs, and the chakra programs weren't out yet. And then when the chakra programs came out, I realized that there was a correlation between the energy program in the gold cycle and the solar plexus program in the chakras. A lot of the frequencies are the same or a number or two off. So those are the frequencies and those are the programs that tend to work really well together because they target the same bioenergetic part or component within the energetic field. Yeah, so I hope that made sense. Anything else you want to add about this, Andrea?
Yeah, I love the energy program as well. It's really it's like recharging the batteries. So
Yeah.
the program that I like to run with this one is the kidney meridian, because our kidneys
Ooh.
are like our life force energy, our batteries.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to do those ones together.
I'm gonna write that down and I'm gonna do that. Kidney.
I'm gonna try the solar plexus one.
There you go. See, this is why we'd like to do this. We like to co-collaborate. Kidney program. When I was doing it was like a 2-hour kind of I don't know if I would call it a meditation. It was a shamanic journey I was doing about 3 or 4 months ago. It was just a training thing. I always keep up my training, and I ran this program with the chakra program, and I got angry. So it brought up some kind of emotion that I was like, you know, ready to let go of, and I had to feel the emotion first. So a lot of times when I run these programs back to back, one versus another one, I just notate what emotions I'm feeling. So I just happened to find a note where I wrote, I'm pissed off. So I must have been angry because that's what I wrote. Like, I'm pissed. So sometimes, and then other times I ran the same program and I was happy. So it all depends. Our bioenergetic body is constantly changing. It is never the same second to second, minute to minute. So it's always based on what you're feeling right now in your energetic body. So that day I was angry. I was pissed. Um, Moving on
Sounds
here.
like moving energy, right?
It was moving energy out. It was moving that anger out of me, but I had to, sometimes you have to feel it before you heal it. I know that's, everyone says that. And that's exactly what happened. I was feeling it. I don't know if I want to say this over Zoom, but I wrote, I almost want to step on kittens. That's how angry I was. I must have been really upset. That's how much anger was coming out of me. And I mean, Andrew, you know me, I'm not an angry person. So something was
No.
going on. I don't think I have that emotion anymore in me. It left, but whew, yeah, I was pissed. All right, moving on. The relax program. Um, I'm going to have you start with this, Andrea. Go right ahead. Well, how do you feel about the relax program?
So I see relax as anti-stress frequencies. These are the ones, I mean, it's great if you're feeling activated or having any kind of symptoms of anxiety or
Mhm.
feeling anxious. This one is great. You can run it any time of the day. Sometimes if I'm feeling a little activated in the afternoon, I like to run this one and it really calms me down. I find this is a very grounding one to
Mhm.
run. Also really beautiful in the evening when you're winding down from your day. Just sort of move you more into a parasympathetic nervous system state.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I have that little brain picture there. This program helps the brain to relax to ensure that the body is in a safe place for healing to begin. A lot of people think that the relax program is to put you to sleep. Has that ever done that for you?
I mean, this one makes me feel really zen, not sleepy.
Yeah, it doesn't make me sleepy at all. So I think that's a misconception with the word relax, sleepiness. So
Mhm.
I just want to make sure that's clear. Like, this program is not a sleep program. And it doesn't make me sleepy at all. I really feel connected. It's a perfect word to use, grounded, when I run this program. Is
Mhm.
there another program that you think would pair well with this program, Andrea, that from your experience?
Well, any of my clients that are feeling anxious or have anxiety, they're running this one, also the being, and then deep relaxation in the fitness. I love that one. Or regeneration is a really
Mhm.
nice one to pair as well.
Yeah,
Or nerves, you could do nerves, anything that's related to the nervous system.
that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I'm running balanced nerves on my Healy. I think it's working. I feel balanced. Um, so, and then, I personally like to run this one when I'm feeling a strong sense of disconnection from myself, and everyone else around me. This is a program I run for that. And I also run that program under the biogenic defense, the subtle light body program. If I'm really feeling a little bit out of it, I'll either run this program, or under bioenergetic defense, I'll run this subtle light body, or this, I'm sorry, it's called subtle. It's not light body, but I'll run that one. But pretty much, I think it means a subtle light body, but it's just called subtle. Um, and
Working at a cellular level.
exactly. And this one really harmonizes the energetic field to help the body to relax. When I say relax, I don't mean sleep. I mean, get your body more grounded, get your body more into more of a coherent state. It's funny that I say coherence, because I think that this program and coherence really do mimic the same kind of frequencies as well, which is, fantastic. So this one is also good for people who have anxiety, they have worry, they have negative thought programs. That is a running thing in today's society, where people have thoughts that aren't even their own. They think they're their own. but they're not. They have, you know, some ancient mystics believe that none of our thoughts are our own, but that's a whole other can of worms. So when you have some thoughts that aren't aligning well with who you are, or you have this negative self-talk, or, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve that, all the things that, all the stories that we tell ourselves, the Relax program helps you to relax. So you don't have to have that overactive brain telling you things that aren't true about you or aren't true about the society you live in. It really does help. And as from a shamanic perspective, I think this really does help with the brain's coherence and how you talk to yourself. Um, so this program is probably my second favorite after Being. Relax, and then, well, Being is my first, and then this program. Anything else you want to add, Andrea?
No, I think that's good.
I feel like I'm talking too much. If I am, just tell
You're
me.
good. You're good. I'm just in the zone listening to you.
Sometimes if you give me a mic and you put me on stage, I'll just talk. That's just what I
You
do.
go for it.
I know. Next, we have the release program. This program is really good for information. I have a client of mine who and I used to as well, used to really suffer from gout. And this program, running with care, really helped him. It helped him with his, his energetic body, so he could walk again. There are different causes of pain. Pain can be a symptom of hyper acidity in the tissue. There's a lot of reasons why we have pain. This works. It's almost like this. What I noticed is if you have a Mag Healy, this program, the release program, mimics body comfort in the Mag Healy. And the Mag Healy is supposed to put that on your stomach. And this program has a lot of the same frequencies as the body program in the Mag Healy. So if you do have a Mag Healy, running this program and the Mag Healy together, quite amazing. Anything else you want to say about the release program, Andrea? I just kind of brushed over it.
Yeah, I mean, release is probably the one that I run the most in the gold cycles. I run this one a lot in the evening. So I'll run release, and then after I run deep relaxation and fitness. But I see this as like releasing pain, releasing emotions. I love this one because at the end of the day, it's just like letting go, right? It's like I'm just releasing everything from the day so that I can go to sleep with sort of a clear mind, clear heart, clear conscience, however you want to look at it. So
Yeah.
This is a really nice one too. If somebody is experiencing pain, it's a nice complementary to the pain and psyche programs as well, running them together.
Yeah.
Or back to back.
So what would one of your intentions look like, Andrea, if you were running this program before you go to bed? Like, would you say something in your head, or do you just randomly pick a program and just play it? Like, I would love to know from your perspective what you do before you run a program. Like, how do you pick one?
I mean, at this point, I'm picking quite intuitively. I definitely have my favorites that I'm running more than others. But like with this one, quite often in the evening, because I run this one probably most evenings in a week, my intention is I'm letting go of everything that's no longer serving me. I'm releasing thoughts and emotions that aren't serving me. I mean, they're sort of around that spectrum of.
Yeah, that's awesome. This program pairs really good with one of the services I have, um, that I offer to my clients, and it's called a Let That Shit Go session. So usually when somebody books that session, I always have release running. Most of the times I do have enough time to run 2 programs on my clients, especially if they're here for longer sessions, because some of my sessions are over 2 hours long. So they get to experience 2 frequencies. And that's why I always talk about running frequencies back to back with other programs, because that's what I do. And that's how I have the educational and experience, because I've been doing it for, well, not 2 years. I got to change that, 3 years now. And I've been getting what's working, what's not working. And the release program really does help let that shit go. I think it's great with that. And this program works in the bioenergetic field of the body, no matter where the pain is located. The frequencies move through water. Water is a microcurrent of frequencies. So I definitely want to touch base on this. Before I have anyone wear the Healy, whether it be the coil or the wristbands, I make sure they drink at least 16 ounces of water beforehand, because that water is getting the frequencies moved through the body. Water holds memory. So if you think about that, water is holding the memory of the frequency that was just pulsed into the field wherever you're wearing the Healy. So if you're wearing the coil, for example, the coil, like I have right here, it's more potent to where the coil is, right? So the coil is placed right now in my solar plexus energy, and that's really where the energy of the Healy is coming out of. But because I am fully hydrated today, my water that's around that area is really moving that frequency current to the rest of my body. So that's just really important to talk about, because a lot of people don't think to drink enough water before session, and even after too. You want that movement, you want that energy movement happening. So hydration is a huge thing, which I know you know, Andrea. I think
Talk about it all the time.
you have a whole thing about it, I think, right? So that's really important. Anything else you want to add about anything that we talked about today? I don't think
we have a couple of questions. So we have one that says, can you use release program when you guide someone through deeper forgiveness practice or any other programs for forgiveness?
So yes, is that if that's what your intention is, or that, so what are they releasing? So when you say forgiveness, I might need a little bit more information about that. Are they forgiving someone? Are they forgiving themselves? If they're forgiving themselves, sometimes we have to forgive ourselves for being so hard on ourselves. This is a great program for that. It depends on what you mean by forgiveness. But as long as your intention is clear, then I think this is a great program to run. But I do think being might be more of a better program to run than release in regards to forgiveness, unless you're talking about forgiving yourself. Then
she says forgiving themselves.
Then I think this would be a great program for that.
I would add to like deep cycle, because deep cycle is working at that deeper level of, especially around organs and emotions.
Yeah.
Also colon, like our large intestine is from a Chinese medicine perspective, is where we store or sort of hold on to things, and that's where we can work with forgiveness. So running like large intestine and meridians would be a nice one with this one as well.
Yeah, and I think going to the roots or go to the roots, one of those. That would be a really good one to run. And a lot of people, someone asked me the other day, can I run a program and like halfway through change it and run another program if I don't have time? The answer to that is yes, you can. So if you only have, so what's the time frame on this release program? What's it say?
I think it's 46 minutes.
It's around 46 minutes, right? So if you only have, say, 25 minutes, you can do that. The only thing is the first 10 to 15 minutes of running a program, it's really trying to figure out and set the course for what frequencies will work for your body and what won't. So you kind of miss out a little bit on that time, but you're still getting the frequencies. The Gold Cycle programs have 144,000 frequencies that work in this program. I think it's 144,000. So there's a lot of frequencies for it to pick from. So if you do switch and run one program and then another program, you kind of miss out a little bit of time, but yes, you can absolutely do that.
Okay, another question is, I'm curious how you feel about running a remote pink dot using a photo.
That, again, that's quantum entanglement. And as long as your intentions are clear, you have to steer the ship. So if you're running a pink dot release program and say I'm sending it to Andrea, I have my own protocol, which that's a whole other video I can do for you guys, but I have my own protocol for that. My intentions are very clear. I need to steer the ship so that ship goes towards Andrea. She is the lighthouse where I want this ship to dock. If the ship is out in sea and lost, it's not going to make it there. There might be storms, there might be, I don't know, a big whale or something that will knock over the ship. We don't want any of that. We want that ship to go straight there with no interactions. And in doing that, intentions are really important. And also using your own energetic field, using your own guidance system to help work with the Healy in that regard, to send that information there. Because what you're actually doing is you're sending information from one information field to another information field. The Healy itself has its own information field. So you're sending the pink dot information to your person that you're working on long distance. What I wouldn't be too concerned about what programs to run in the beginning. I would be concerned about making sure that your intentions are clear and where it's going. That is the most important thing. I have tools that I use when I send long distance. I write their name down. If I have the picture, great. If I don't, great. I don't need the picture. I call it an orgon, which I will show you. Give me a second here. This is an orgon. It's an orgon generator. I use this to do long distance healings in the Pink app because it creates that energy flow within the information field and the quantum field. If you are a Reiki practitioner, I would highly, highly recommend using Reiki. There's a symbol called the long distance symbol. I would use that symbol. I would write that symbol down. It's one of the longest symbols in Reiki. I would write that symbol down. And then I would put that symbol next to their name, and then start your Pink program and just intend that program be sent out. There is no really short way to answer that question. And there's everyone can do things differently, but if you are Reiki attuned, absolutely use Reiki because that works in quantum entanglement. But if you have other ways that you want to do it, you just want to get clear that you have. And a lot of people doubt themselves. So you want to ease that doubt. You have the power. We have this God-given right to allow ourselves to help other people. So as long as you believe that, as long as you believe that the energy that you're sending out from the Healy and yourself is going there with love, and that's your intention, it's going to get there, and it's going to be just as powerful as if they were right next to you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I've actually heard from a time waiver practitioner that you can use it in that way, like using the Pink app, sending it through to somebody by distance.
Yeah.
So some other question. Sorry, go ahead.
Initially, I didn't think you could.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was talking to, I think it was Derek Nakamura. He's like, Chad, what are you talking about? Yes, you can. I was like, really? Tell me more. And then I really dove into that. And now I know you can because I hear from my clients, so I send it to, and to the point that sometimes they know when I'm working on them, they'll send me a text like, Chad, are you working on me right now? And 9 chances out of 10, I'm like, yeah, I am. So it can be felt.
So when you're sending these with the Pink app, Chad, would you use the coil? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter. I leave my coil in if it's not plugged into my electrodes. But if you don't have a coil, that's fine too. You don't have to have it plugged in. Now, the energy and the information field may not be as strong, but your mind and your intentions make it stronger. So we actually kind of work with the Healy. We work with that information field to create a stronger intention, which will create a stronger frequency to go through that time-space reality portal into the information field of the person you're working with.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, one other question. Another question we had was, any suggestion on programs for keeping polarity positive?
Well, what did I talk about? That was the energy, the gold cycle program energy. That's what I use when you say polarity, though. I want to make sure I understand what you're talking about. Can you break that? I don't know if I know exactly what that means. Keeping
and I think we need positive and negative. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's more about keeping the channels clear. And I would say grounding would be a great way to do that as well.
Yeah. Getting out in nature, grounding barefoot, getting the Schumann resonance in your blood. The Schumann resonance it's that frequency that Mother Earth has, that Dr. Schumann discovered. Is there any more? Oh, no, that's it. We're done. And if you guys want more free training, we're gonna post these all on residenceconnection.com. There is a free training button in the heading, and then you can, while you're on the site, peruse what we're all about. Andrea is doing a whole quantum detox in there. I'm doing a heal thyself with Chad, and it's that course is mimicked off of how I healed myself, which is fantastic. So that will all be in there within a week. And so if you want more training, we're going to systematically add more things in there as we go along. Every Tuesday, we're going to be doing a module or a program breakdown. I think we've already figured out what we're doing next Tuesday. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
What are we
Yeah,
doing next Tuesday?
We're gonna do Schussler salts.
Yes, we're doing this salt.
Yeah.
So that one's fun. So
Yeah.
we're going to break down what they are, how they were discovered. There's 27 of them, what they all mean, what they do for the energetic body, and how long to vibrate into the field, when to vibrate into the field, all that stuff that you probably don't know the answers to, and we can help shed some light on that. So next week will be the SALT program, and we'll do another slide presentation for that. So
these calls will happen every Tuesday at 4 p.m. And then Chad and I will do inside of our portal and Resonance Connection. We are going to have a Q&A after as well to deep dive and do a little bit more advanced training. So
yeah. So this is really exciting work, and I feel people are thirsty for this information, they're thirsty for this knowledge. And I'll be the first to admit it's kind of hard to go out there and find some of this information out there. So it's finally coming to fruition that practitioners like myself and Andrea, we actually want to help the consciousness of this planet evolve a little bit more. I think that was Marcus's vision when he, discovered the Healy or the Time Weaver device. So I think we're here to just help that vision come to fruition.
Yeah. Great community.
Yeah. Any other questions?
That's good. We'll just be mindful of time here. We've been going for we said 20 minutes, but I think we've been going for
oh my gosh, almost an hour.
Yeah. So thanks so much, Chad, for all your wisdom and knowledge and your deep study of sitting there and writing down all of the frequencies of every single program.
Every single one. There's 7 journals worth.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So anyway,
thanks for everybody that joined and all your questions.
Yeah. And I think we're done. So I'm going to say good night to everybody. I'm going to stop the live stream here on Facebook. And Andrew, let me know if it stopped then, okay?
Yep.
There was a 20-second delay, so it should have stopped.
Oh, hang on. I don't hear you now.
You don't hear me now? Maybe I was coming off there. Can you hear me now?
Now I hear you, yeah. I don't know what happened there. Hey, well, that was awesome.
That was good, right?
Yeah, it was so good. We had tons of engagement. Everyone was commenting tons of comments. It was trying to field them all. But there were some things, I tried to answer most of the questions, but some of them were a little more advanced. But that's why I was join our portal with the Q&A and you can,
What do you mean by that? What question was more advanced?
So where was one of these? I got to go back through. So, some people are can I wear the wristbands while having a meal? And they're talking about doing Reiki at a distance. Questions. I think we answered that one about the coil. We did most of the questions.
Oh, good.
I think it was good.
I'm really glad that I can't read the question.
Yeah,
and then it would have been too much. Yeah.
I think that was a perfect flow of good synergy with you and I and me fielding the questions and sharing our experience. I think it was awesome.
Yeah, I feel like we got more into a deeper flow is what I want. It's fantastic. If I didn't have a I would buy one now because just
right. And I think the program suggestions are really good for people too, right? Like,
Love that. Yeah,
yeah, they really like that. They enjoyed it. I think this is going to blow up, Chad. I think this is going to get really popular.
I think so too. It sounds like it already did. So,
Yeah, we
all
have
right,
53
awesome.
comments on that.
Yeah, so let me stop recording here.